Okay, so in my last stream, we were talking about PC specs for 007 First Light, which is a game that is set to come in May 27th or something, this May. It's a game developed by IO Interactive, who are the guys behind Hitman. So essentially, this game going to have a lot of Hitman DNA. Last week they released PC specs for this game, and I talked about this: 16 gigabytes of RAM and 8 gigabytes for video RAM. Like what? What's going on here? Just to get 1080p 30 fps, and you had 32 gigabytes. This is the minimum, right? Let's leave minimum, and you have like recommended PC hardware. You needed 32 gigabytes of RAM and 12 gigabytes of video RAM. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy spec just to get 1080p 60 fps. That does not sound right. Like, that is very poorly optimized game. If you're asking people, time to make a new build, dude, this is what you need if you want to do like high end, right? And RAM is expensive as it is, and it questing 32. Sell your kidneys. Yeah, essentially, right? And I was like, this does not sound right. Like NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti, these are pretty decent graphic cards, and you still need 32 gigabytes of RAM to run it at 1080p 60 fps. That is an insane request, right? I was like, this doesn't sound right. They need to do something to fix this before the game comes out, and I hope they do. That's what I said. I literally, like, if you go back to this is what I said. Clearly, if this is happening, that means it's still not optimized for the console. If it's running on a PC, they wouldn't be running this on a mid PC. They will be running this on a high-end PC. And if they're still getting this kind of performance, that's questionable, right? So again, my point is, it comes down to how well optimized the game is. We have seen that are games that
I know, it feels like Uncharted 3
achieve smooth performance through really good optimization. So I really hope that IO Interactive actually work on it a little bit more, and hopefully get it down to a point where the game scales a little better with the PC specs. I mean, I'm not comparing this to where wins meet. A huge. Yeah, so I was saying that they need to work on it a little bit more. So anyway, going back to First Light, funnily enough, they had just tweeted something, and I thought I need to bring that to attention, because it looks like they have made an oopsie. Which makes sense now. So if you go to their Twitter account, this is what you'll see. We are providing today an update to the PC system requirements for 007 First Light after the community flagged some inconsistencies in an earlier version of the listing. The earlier mistake was due to an internal miscommunication leading to an older version of the specs to be shared. I mean, the fact that they even had an older version of the specs with those requirements is bizarre to me. But anyway, keep going. After a thorough re-examination and additional testing, the recommended RAM has been corrected from 32 to 16 gigabytes. VRAM values have been updated, and the minimum CPU line has been fixed. Additional performance targets will be shared closer to launch. Okay, so these are the new specs now. It's been corrected. It's been corrected to say 16 gigabytes and 6 GB. Makes more sense, yeah. That's the minimum for 1080p 30 fps. And 16 gigabytes and 8 GB of video RAM, and 16 gigabytes of RAM for 1080p 60 fps. 1080p is the most common resolution a lot of the PCs gamers will target. But I would assume you need a little bit higher if you're running 1440p. But yeah, this makes sense. Now I'm on board, man. It makes a lot more sense than what they've shared before. They made a blunder, but I'm glad they corrected it a week later. But I don't know why it took them that long, but either way, they have still corrected it. Can't complain now. It was bizarre. I still think it's a little weird that they even had those old specs Anyway, we all make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay.